Boys and girls, today we're going to do lesson 6, problem solving investigation. It says 4 steps. I think we can do a strategy that's going to make this pretty easy. So follow the strategy and we can make this problem solving a lot easier. And make sure that you have a scratch paper. So lesson 6, page 43. Yep, page 43. And scratch paper. So have that ready and let's get started and let's take a look at the first one. We have Ben, Andy, and Kelly. So we have 3 people and they each live in a different city. So 3 people, 3 cities. Here's the populations and we're going to use the clues to find population of the city where Ben lives. So here's what we know. We underline what we know. We know there's 3 people and they live in a different city. We can underline all that if you want. And we know the populations. Here's one population, here's another, and here's another. What we don't know is what we want to circle, the population where Ben lives. And we're going to have some clues here. So, underline what you know, circle what you need to find out. Andy's city has the least population. Andy's city has the least. Well, we want to know Ben, so we could get rid of one of them, couldn't we? Which one is the least? Maybe it would be good to have our place value chart and line them up. Mr. B is going to, this is why we needed the scratch paper. Let's put these right underneath each other. 372,952. And then let's put 225,000 with our 1,000. And we don't say and, but 395. Write it big enough so you can keep the ones and the tens and the hundreds in a nice line. The last one is 373,000. There's the 1,000. 926. 926. Well, Andy's city has the least. Which one is the least? We look at the front digit, a 3, a 2, and a 3, and the 100,000s. Here's the least. That's Andy. That one's gone. So Ben is one of these two. 372,000, 373,000. It says when rounded to the nearest 1,000, the population of Kelly is this. So we'll have to maybe round both of them to the 1,000. Let's take this 1,000, circle, go next door. Is that 5 or greater? It is. Makes the 2 go up 1. So 373,000. I can write that above it. 373. Remember, all the digits after become zeros. 373,000. But Kelly's is 374,000. That must be this one, Kelly's. And if we looked here and we went next door, that 9 makes it be a 4. That means all these are zeros. That means Kelly's is right here. And we now have our answer is going to be then populations for each city are, and we did that here. We did it on scratch paper. You could write it here. And I like to write it on scratch paper up and down. All right. We made our plan. Erase this. And it says order them from least to greatest. Well, we didn't do that, but we still found the answer, and they did it for you. And it is the question of, oh, I take that back. It's not Ben, was it? So the least was Andy. right? And that means we could get rid of that one because we want to find Ben. And then we did round each of these. This was 373,000 right here, which was actually Ben. And this one rounds to 374,000. And that was Kelly. Because Kelly's is 374,000. So Ben must have the population of 372,000. These are big towns too. Bigger than Austin and Rochester. As big as Minneapolis and St. Paul almost. 952. And there's Bend City. So look at the information that you have. Circle what you need to know. And then it's going to take a little bit of work. This is quite a bit right here. But you know what? If we know our place value and we keep it simple, we can do it. Let's take a look at number one, next page. Here's the list prices buying a car A, B, C, D. And there's the prices. Mr. Kramer wants to buy the least expensive. He doesn't have a lot of money. Buying cars is expensive. Which is the least? Can you see two that we could cross out right away? Well, here's the 10,000s, 7 and an 8 and 2 2s. So that's a big one. That's a big one. It's one of these two. And we want to know the least. The 2 and the 10,000s is the same. The 4 and the thousands is the same. We look at the hundreds, 3 and a 0, which is the least? Car C. Car C. All right. Here's what we know. We know he's going to buy a car, and we know he wants to buy the least expensive. So we look at our numbers, and we found the least expensive. Let's see about this restaurant here. Takes a little more time, but there's only a few of these problems, so take your time. A restaurant made more than 80,000. More than 80, less than 90. That's what we know last month. There is a 6 in the ones place, a 3 in the thousands place, a 7 in the hundreds place, a 1 in the tens place. That's what we know. How much? How much did the restaurant make last month? All right. It's got to be between these two. And that means how many digits do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's what I like to do. You can use your place value chart. This is another way to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 digits. Ones, tens, hundreds. Let's just go through this, and you do it before me. Stop the video, and you can do it before me. 6 in the ones. Here's the ones. 3 in the thousands. 7 in the hundreds. 1 in the tens. Can't be an 8 because, or can it be an 8? It has to be between an 8, 80,000, and 90,000. Has to be between 80. So either an 8 or a 9. If I tried a 9, 93, is 93 between 80 and 90? No. What if I tried the 8? That's where we check. The 8 between 83,000 between more than 80,000 and less than 90. More than 80, 83,000, less than 90. we have our answer. So putting dashes for each of the digits is a really good strategy. And we'll do that when you guys start working. You'll need to do that on several of the problems. It'll help a lot. Scratch paper or your place value chart. Amy, Lisa, Angie, and Doug, 4 people, different states. Here are the big numbers. And remember, this dot with this little mark separates our numbers. So if this is a number, here's number 2, here's number 3, and here's number 4. And when we write them, we put our finger for a space. She lives in a state with the greatest population. Lisa, greatest. Doug, in a state with a 2 in thousands place. Amy lives in a state with the least. Amy's in the least. Here's our question. What is Angie's? Well, it is going to take some work. There's 4 numbers. They're big numbers. Line them up and process of elimination. Figure out the others, and then we know the next one is going to be Amy. So let's do that. Scratch paper. Write our 885,122. 5 million. Be careful because there's a comma and here's a comma to line them up. 5 million. There's the thousands. 0, 2, 4, and 748. Then we have 4 million again. 4,492,076. 076. And finally 2 million. Put the 2 there, million. 951,996. Or we just say 996. It's that. 996. All right, let's just go through it. Lisa, greatest. Here's the millions. Which one is the greatest? I'll use a different color. That is Lisa. LISA. That's the biggest, 5. So we know that's gone. Because we want to know Angie's. All right. Doug lives in the state with a 2 in the thousands. Which one has a 2 in the thousands? Tens, hundred thousands. There's the 2. That's Doug. That's gone. We're down to 2. And Amy is the state with the least. Which one of these 2 is the least? Less digits, less number. And there's Amy, and guess what? You see, we line them up. You take a little time, you can do it in one step at a time. And the answer is 2,951,000. So we'll put that 2,951,996. We got it. All right, boys and girls. Take your time. Underline what you know. Circle what you need to find. And then use your scratch paper or your place value chart. I know it takes some work, but there's only a few problems. And these are really important. You can do it. If you can solve these, you can solve any problems.